It was late June, 2025, and Venice was holding its breath. Gondolas drifted through glistening canals. The evening sun poured gold onto the ancient stone of San Giorgio Maggiore. At the heart of it all, a wedding unlike any Venice had ever seen. This was not the union of a prince and princess, nor of actors from a Hollywood romance. This was the marriage of Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sánchez, a story of ambition, scandal, reinvention, and love. But to understand why this moment mattered, we need to go back, years before Venice, to two very different lives, moving on parallel tracks that would one day meet. Jeff Bezos was born in 1964 in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Raised partly by his teenage mother and his Cuban immigrant stepfather, Bezos had a mind for invention even as a child. He built gadgets in his garage, tinkered with science projects, and devoured books. After Princeton, he climbed the ranks in finance. But in 1994, he made a leap. He left Wall Street, packed his car, and drove across the country to Seattle. His idea? Selling books on the internet. That gamble became Amazon, a company that would transform the way the world shops and make Bezos one of the richest men alive. Along the way, Bezos married Mackenzie Scott in 1993. They built their lives together, 4 children, a sprawling empire, a shared belief in ambition. For 25 years, they were a fixture in business and philanthropy. But marriages, even in the public eye, are private ecosystems. And by 2018, something had shifted. The relationship was ending. Across the country, another life was unfolding. Lauren Wendy Sánchez, born in 1969 in Albuquerque as well, grew up with dreams of flying and storytelling. She began her career in journalism, moving quickly through TV stations, eventually landing on shows like Good Day LA. She wasn't just a face on the screen, Sánchez was driven. She became one of the first female helicopter pilots to own an aerial filming company, Black Ops Aviation, shooting breathtaking footage for Hollywood and news outlets alike. She married Patrick Whitesell in 2005, one of the most powerful talent agents in Hollywood. They had children, careers, a life in the spotlight. But like Bezos, Sánchez too would face a turning point. The year was 2019. Rumors swirled. The National Enquirer published intimate text messages between Bezos and Sánchez, revealing a relationship that had begun while both were still married. The media frenzy was immediate. Bezos, in a rare personal move, took to his blog, accusing the tabloid of attempted blackmail. The story wasn't just about love anymore, it was about privacy, power, and control over one's narrative. In May 2023, during a trip to France, Bezos proposed with a 30-carat pink diamond ring. It was a bold, unmistakable symbol. This was not a casual romance. 2 years later, Venice became the stage for their next chapter. The wedding spanned 3 days, each event carefully orchestrated. Guests arrived by water taxi, gliding past palazzos and under ancient bridges. The ceremony took place on San Giorgio Maggiore in a setting so opulent it could have been painted. The guest list was a who's who of celebrities and business elites. Oprah arrived in satin pajamas trimmed with feathers, a nod to the weekend's playful themes. Khloe Kardashian shimmered in sequins, Kendall Jenner in a sheer cobalt hood, Kylie in a daring designer gown. But not every look won praise. Some called Bezos' tuxedo ill-fitted. Kris Jenner's feathered coat was deemed excessive for a June evening in Italy. Ivanka Trump's bridal white gown drew comments for overshadowing the bride. And then there was Sánchez's dress, a Schiaparelli couture gown designed by Daniel Roseberry with a dramatic winged silhouette. Critics debated its fit and comfort, but no one could deny it made a statement. Outside the glamour, local protests simmered. Venetians waved banners reading "No space for Bezos," decrying what they saw as yet another example of the city being used as a luxury playground for the ultra-wealthy. The celebrations included a Dolce Notte pajama-themed party, opera performances, and even custom slippers for guests. Matteo Bocelli serenaded the newlyweds under the soft glow of lanterns, the Grand Canal shimmering in the background. When the last champagne glass was emptied, Bezos and Sánchez boarded Kourou, their $500 million super yacht, and sailed into the Mediterranean. Leonardo DiCaprio and Vittoria Soretti joined them for part of the voyage. Their wedding wasn't just a celebration of love. It was a performance, a brand statement, and a declaration that both had moved beyond their divorces into a new shared empire. And in the end, that's what makes this story remarkable. It isn't just about a billionaire and a former news anchor. It's about reinvention, about weathering public storms, about turning the world's gaze into a stage, and never looking away.